All right, we are here with Cameron Shenoy, your new champion, cup winner of the quarter. All right, Cameron, what did you play? Show us your list.
All right, so I played Zoroark. This is, I'm pretty sure, my list from NAIC, or not NAIC, LAIC. It's pretty close to Liam Halliburton's list. So obviously start off with the Zoroark and the Darmanitans. I kept those in. It's really good.
This is a 4-4-1-2 line?
No. 4-4-2-2.
All right, just see them out as you
Yeah,
go.
sorry. And then Reshiram, so this is your ends package for the most part. Darmanitan for the spread. Ends to kind of do 170, or if somebody hits you, big powerful rage. Next would be the Loyal Four, I believe they're called. Petron, Okidogi, Fez, and Monkey. The reason this, in Liam's list, this is Bear, Blood Moon Ursaluna. This is obviously the out to Cornerstone, so what happened to him in finals against Tord doesn't happen to you, so you can knock out Cornerstone. And then another card that Liam didn't have, I cut Pokegear for Cleffa because I felt like whenever I bricked and didn't have a supporter, I always had an out for Buddy Poffins. And then with Buddy Poffin, you can either Turo or manually retreat from a Zaru into a Cleffa and then kind of have a game even if you don't draw the supporters. I believe the supporter line is 4 Lilies, 3 Boss, 2 Iono, 1 Arvin, 1 Black Belt, 1 Turo. Lilies just feels insane, a lot better than Cyrano just because it's usable throughout the game, where Cyrano you usually just use it once and then it's kind of dead. Still a good card, but Lilies just feels good throughout the course of the game. Triple Boss is really good just because a lot of the times against certain decks you're going ahead a lot. Against the slower evolving decks like Charizard, Dragapult, Gardevoir, and so you really can't use your CCs, and so you really do need the Gust in a lot of situations. So this helps against the decks where you're more aggressive and you're ahead in the prize trade. Black Belt is just for Goldango, so you can hit Goldango with Ends Darmanitan. And then the second thing you can do is Black Belt on a Zoroark and then do 210, so you can knock out like a Teal Mask, knock out like a Fez, something like that. But doesn't really get used that much, but still necessary just because Goldango is so prevalent right now. 4 Buddy Poffin, 2 Nestball. Usually gets you exactly what you need. I do like the 2 Nestball because a lot of times you need to find like any of these guys, and if you don't have the Artizone, Nestball helps a lot, and obviously Artizone doesn't get these 3. Fez and Petron are so powerful, and then having more outs to Darumaka in the early game. You want to get 1 to 2 down a lot in a lot of matchups, so having like Nestball, having more outs to this with Artizone kind of gets you into the Darumakas a little more consistently. 2cc, really good. Obviously, just most decks are playing it right now. You're usually using these against decks either when you have a slow start or against the aggressive decks like Raging Bolt, Goldango, which take the early prizes, and things like that. 2 ends PP up just to charge up the Zoroarks or the Darmanitan. Occasionally you can use Backdraft to attack. And then 2 Super Rod. I went down, I believe Liam Halliburton played 3 Stretcher, and then I wanted to fit more stuff in. So I just went, we had played 2 Super Rod for a really long time. And back in the day in Reggie Drago, people went to 2 Super Rods, so I was like, I'll just cut the stretcher for space and then turn the 2 stretchers into Super Rods. Occasionally you'll want a stretcher, but most of the time Super Rod is good enough to kind of get you throughout the game. And then our one-of items, we have Energy Switch, which is really good to use with Monkey Dory if you need to attach to it, and then maybe E-switch onto a Zoroark if you kind of need it to attack. E-switch is also good for if you remove all your energy with Flame Body Cannon. Sometimes opponents will just hit into the Zoroark thinking that you can't get back into attacking with the one that they hit, but E-switch kind of puts the energy here. And then also E-switch works with Petrant late game, won a game using Irritated Outburst, and then you can also use it on Okidogi, but you have to set up Okidogi like a turn before by attaching to it, and then like a following turn you can go energy switch and attach again. This one's a little less likely to happen, but the Petrant, it's obviously really good. We play one Ultra Ball because we have the Arven, and it kind of just gives you just an additional out to Zoroarks or Darmanitans. Just because these are so important. We don't have Cyrano, we don't have really any way to search for it other than this single Ultra Ball. Otherwise, we're just hoping we draw into it with Cleffa, Lilies, and all that. And then the last two, Palpad and Secret Box. Palpad, really good most of the time. I'm bringing back some combination of Boss, Iono, or Professor Turo. Occasionally against like Goldango, you'll bring back Black Belt, but those are kind of the ones, especially Iono, because you only play two. It's easy to run out of these, so you're going to want to Palpad these back a lot of the time. And then Secret Box obviously just kind of makes the whole deck go. And then we'll go into the tools. I have Air Balloon, which is good for free retreat, Power Glass, which reattaches energy to a Zoroark or a Darmanitan after you Flame Body Cannon. Most of the time it goes on the Zoroark, but it's actually kind of interesting sometimes to put it here and then throw a reversal, Flame Body Cannon, knock out, and then you reattach an energy, and then like maybe against a Goldango you're like threatening now with Backdraft, and you're kind of like creating multiple threats with the Power Glass on Darmanitan on occasion. The one of TM Evo, you have 3 outs to it, Arven, Secret Box, or just raw drawing it. You don't always use it, but I think with Cleffa and TM Evo, you kind of, and then you're blind going second, and you're just going second in most of the matchups. So with Cleffa and Evo, and a supporter, hopefully, you just have a lot of different things that you can do on turn 1 to either draw into a lot of cards or just set up your board into Zoroarks or Darmanitans. Actually, yeah, this is the second way you can find it, the Evos. And then the double Artizone. So there's Ends Castle, there is, and Team Rocket's Watchtower are the 2 cards that like other stadiums that you could play if you want to play this deck, and I think they're both very good. I once again cut it for more space in my list. I think like one of the things, like Liam only played 1 CC, which I didn't really like. It just feels a little safer to have the second one. I forget what other cards I added, but there's some other cards in here that I think, so I made space by cutting the stadiums. It makes you worse against Charizard, which is a little iffy. That matchup is sketch, especially since it just did well, and at our locals, a ton of people are playing the Noctowl Charizard. But I just felt like overall, this is the most consistent, right? You need to find your Darumaka's and Zoruas early, so I was just willing to kind of take a harder matchup into Charizard and any of the kind of colorless decks by cutting the Team Rocket's Watchtower. And then the energy, 7 dark, 2 reversal. This energy count has kind of been in flux. I think this is the most energy we've been playing in the list for a while. 7 dark just means a lot of times when you lose, it's because you don't find energy early. So having the 7th dark helps. And then 2 reversal, obviously you need it for Goldango with the double Darmanitan, and then obviously if you ever just fall behind against things like Raging Bolt or Dragapult or what have you, you do need the double reversal. And I would say that this is A lot of people might cut like energies here and there. I do not think that's the thing to do. You just need energy so bad with this deck. You don't have any way to find it, like Earthen Vessel or anything like that. And then, yeah, that's the deck. I played against 2 Gardevoirs, and then I played against a Charizard Pidgeot. It started out 3-0, lost to a Charizard Pidgeot, the Terra one, so went down to 3-1. Beat not a Grimmsnarl, just a Frostlass, just the straight Frostlass with triple boss. It helps a lot against the Grimmsnarl or just the straight Frostlass builds, because you just keep bossing the Frostlass and then they don't really do anything. And then when they try to stall you, you just have Pecharunt ID'd in. And then in top 8, I played a Bond on Gardevoir. That was a really, really close match. It came down to the wire. I think we were both at like 1 or 2 prizes left, and we were both Ionoed low, and then we were just kind of drawing out to see who could find what they needed first. But Abon had no Gardevoir, and I had like 1 or 2 Zoroarks up, so I got there first in game 3. Then I played a Poltnor. I think that is one of the easier top meta matchups that you can play against. I do think it might be easier than Gardevoir with the new Mega Diancie. Mega Diancie is an issue for Zoroark. So I actually think Poltnor is now the easiest matchup of the big 3 or the big 4. And then the finals, I played against a Terra Charizard again. And it was really close, but game 3 he prized double Pidgey. Couldn't set up the Pidgeot, so late game he kind of stalled out. And I was able to close it out. And that is Zoroark and what I took to win the Tabletop Cup.
Well, yep, I don't have any questions then. That was enough for me. There you go, folks. Liam says don't play that. Cameron says play that.
Yeah, play this. This is a really great card.
I seen him use it like 5 times. All right. Any shout-outs?
Shout out Tabletop Village, shout out Brian, shout out everyone on the team, Abon, Cal Connor, the whole squad, everyone here, my wife, for always supporting me. She made top 8 as well, so that was great. And yeah, that's all my shout outs.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.
See ya.